Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna Govinda Hare 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 Narayana Vasudeva. Hare Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Narayana Vasudeva. Hare Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Narayana Vasudeva. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari 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 Bol.
Hari Bol.
Shri Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Madha Kumar Prabhu and Dhruv Maharaj, for your time and the Kirtan. Really appreciate. Now our Dinbandhu Prabhu is ready to give the class. So over to you, Dinbandhu Prabhu. Welcome everyone. To this New Year Eve program. So now our Dinbandhu Prabhu will be giving class, and after that there will be quiz by Pandavasena team. And there will be again a short video, and at the end plenty of kirtan, and we will end the we welcome the new year with the Narsingha prayer at the end. Over to you, Dinbandhu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol Prabhu. Gaurnakraj Prabhu, can I go over a few minutes? If
Sure, no, you can take, no problem, absolutely,
Okay.
we have time.
Because when I was preparing for the class, I thought
Yeah.
half an hour,
Yeah.
maybe a bit. Okay,
No
thank
problem.
you, Prabhuji.
Absolutely no problem.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We'll sing Jai Radha Madhav first. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Janavallabha गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जन जय यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। श्री श्री राधा माधव की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So this is the last day of 2021. Just a few hours left for the year to end, and another year will begin. And this is often a time for reflection. 31st December, time for reflection. 1st January, time for resolutions. So when Gaur Nataraj Prabhu asked me to give this class, I thought the topic for today's class will be 2021, a spiritual journey. And we'll try to reflect upon our personal and also collective journey in this year of 2021. So just to set the background, the basis for today's class, I will read a verse from Bhagavad Gita. This is verse 11:32, chapter 11, verse 32. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalosmi lok shayakrit pravriddho lokan samahartumiha pravritta ritepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve yeva sthita pratyanikeshu yodha. So, word for word translation, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the personality of Godhead said, Kala, time, Asmi, I am, Loka, of the worlds, Shayakrit, the destroyer, Pravriddha, great, Lokan, all people, Samahartum, in destroying, Iha, in this world, Pravritta, engaged, Rite, without, except for, Api, even, Tvam, you, Na, never, Bhavishyanti, will be, Sarve, all, Ye, who, Avasthita, situated, Prati, Anikeshu, on the opposite sides, Yodha, the soldiers. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I've come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although Arjun knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the Supreme Truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas. As stated in the Katha Upanishad 1:2-25, Yasya Brahma cha kshatram cha ubhe bhavata odana mrityuryasyopasacenam ka itha veda yatrasa. Eventually, all the Brahman, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring time. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present on that battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjun was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjun stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. So this is one of my favorite verses, where after Krishna shows the Virat Rupa, the universal form, to Arjun in 11th chapter, Arjun is afraid and he's asking, who are you? What is this form? So Krishna responds by saying this, Kalosmi lok shayakrit pravriddho, that Kal asmi, I am time. Krishna is time. And what is the nature of time? Pravritta. Pravritta means what is time engaged in? Lokakshaya, to destroy everything. So today is New Year Eve. If you look at the flow of time, time gradually destroys everything. It is reducing our age. It is reducing all the good qualities in this world. It is the environment is getting destroyed over a period of time. People's memory, people's strength, the general duration of life, all of that is going down. That is the nature of time. It destroys everything. Sooner or later, everything gets destroyed. So this passing of a year, 2021, one more year has gone. Some more time has passed, some more things would have been destroyed. That's the nature of time. And this verse, the purport is specifically relevant if you look at it in the context of COVID, where, many people, they ask me, why did God allow this pandemic? What is the spiritual perspective on it? But as Prabhupada writes in the purport, that even if Arjuna stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. So this concept of why things are happening. It's the law of nature. Prabhupada writes in the last line of the purport, this is the law of nature, that everything diminishes with period of time. So if you look at 2021, we lost so many devotees due to COVID. Bhakti Charu Maharaj, very nice, my personal favorite sannyasi, he passed away. A lot of my friends, relatives, they passed away, colleagues passed away. A lot of people suffered because of COVID. Our temple, many of the programs suffered because of COVID. Some of the festivals we had to do online. In general, this year has been full of, I would say, more bad news than good news, at least for me. When I look around in my profession and personal life, a lot of not so good news have happened. Some good news as well. In Hindi, in Bollywood, there is a movie, Kabhi Khushi, Kabhi Gum. And one devotee gave a class on this title by altering it, saying, Kabhi Khushi, mostly Gum, which means sometimes happiness, but mostly distress. That's the nature of this world. I was speaking to my colleagues today in the hospital, and I was just asking them, how was your year? What are your reflections on the passing of this year? And it was a combination of happiness and distress. I'm sure if you spend a few minutes reflecting on your year, 2021, you will find the same thing. A few things have gone well, a few things have gone not so well. Many people, they suffered with their finances, jobs, health, relationships. And some other people, they gained in those aspects. So it's a mixed period. That's the nature of this world. But be assured, my friends, that eventually everything gets destroyed. That's how this world is created. So happiness begins with acceptance of truth. So if you want to be happy, one has to not live in a deluded situation. We should see things for as they are. And then we can look for some solutions. So in this year, I was just trying to reflect on our temple activities. Last year was a complete lockdown. And then this year we reopened the temple. We started doing some programs were online. Friday programs were online, but Sunday programs we gradually opened up. We celebrated a few festivals. In my mind, Govardhan Puja somehow stands out as one of the most prominent festivals in this year, where we all got together. We had nice kirtan. We had a nice Govardhan hill in Gita Bhavan, and everyone was circumambulating. There was a lot of bhajan, and then plenty of prasadam as well. So it was very nice, very happy, joyous occasion. We also had installation of Jagannath Baldev Subhadra in Gita Bhavan, and we had a Rath Yatra, which we thought was impossible this year. But the Lord had his own plans, and we were doing the Kirtan for Rath Yatra. We prepared Prasadam for Rath Yatra. So there were many festivals which happened. Personally, when I look at my spiritual life in this year, then by grace of Madhav Kumar Prabhu, I managed to read Chaitanya Bhagavat. I finished Chaitanya Bhagavat this year. I had started it last year. I completed that this year. And that whole period was full of ecstasy. I would wait for the time in the day when I would open the book and read 10 pages. I had taken a vow that I would read 10 pages of Chaitanya Bhagavat every day. And I was reading that, and then it was full of ecstasy, one of the best times I've had in my life. And then again, Madhav Kumar Prabhu gave me Brihad Bhagavatamrit. Now I'm currently reading that book. I'm in the last sections. Another 80 days to go. Same vow. I will read 10 pages every day. And again, it's given me some really profound realizations about devotional service and spiritual world. So personally, I think I've grown a bit in terms of my spiritual understanding. I also got association of devotees. I've also been able to serve the temple in various ways. I was in charge of the class rota for the last few months, and that gave me various ecstasies in organizing the rota. So I could meet with the devotees after the last year's lockdown. We had some celebration at home, and everyone came along, lots of prasadam again. So spiritually, I think this has been a wonderful year. And whilst the nature of material world is of destruction, as Krishna says, Kalosmi lokshay krit pravritto. Krishna says that when he becomes time, he destroys everything. But the nature of spiritual world is different, where Krishna says, Neha bhikramana shosti pratyevayo na vidyate. That the nature of spiritual world, Krishna explains in 2nd chapter, is one of akshay, is one of where there is no reduction, where there is no destruction. Swalpamapi dharmasya prayato mahate. Even if you do a small amount of spiritual progress, that stays in your balance. So in the last few months, there have been what they call losses in stock market, but they call it correction. So your original investment goes down. Spiritual world, there is nothing called correction. You can either grow or it will stay the same. It will never reduce. That is Krishna's guarantee. Your capital is guaranteed in spiritual world. There's no loss. So this evening, when I was driving home, I was reflecting upon this particular aspect, that yes, materially, I had good days, I had bad days, and one can try to calculate, how many good days, how many bad days, was this a good year or was this a not so good year? But spiritually, there has been no loss. There has always been gain. Whatever I've accomplished in my spiritual life, Krishna guarantees that will stay, that will not reduce. In fact, by the blessings of Krishna and his devotees, that will always increase. And more, I will come closer to Krishna. So Krishna says in this particular verse that everyone will be destroyed, rite pitvam, except for the Pandavas. That everyone who is standing on this battlefield of Kurukshetra, everyone will be destroyed, whether they are on side of Pandavas or whether they are on side of Kauravas. Everyone will be destroyed except the Pandavas. Why not the Pandavas? Because they are very great devotees of the Lord, and the Lord is giving them personal protection. There is a particular instance in Mahabharata. I have not read it personally, so I cannot verify the authenticity, but I've heard from various sources that when Krishna was driving the chariot of Arjuna, then all the Kaurava army, especially Bhishma Dev, Karna, they were throwing arrows at Arjuna. And some of the arrows were hitting Krishna, some of them were hitting Arjuna as well, some of them were hitting the chariot. But there was no damage to the chariot. So at the end of the battlefield, when Arjuna wins and he comes out of the chariot, then he tells Krishna that, oh Krishna, all these days I would step out of the chariot first because I am the warrior and you are the chariot driver. So the master, first the driver gets off and then he opens the gate for the master. So he said, but today, the battle is over. You're no longer a chariot driver. So you can, you can leave the chariot first. So Krishna says, no, today you leave the chariot first. And he says, why? So he says, no, do it. And then he leaves. And then as soon as Krishna steps out, the chariot is blown to pieces. It just, crumbles down. So Arjuna says, why is this? And Krishna responds by saying that all these arrows which were hitting the chariot, because of my potency, they did not destroy the chariot. But now that the war is over and I'm coming off, this chariot has gone to pieces. So for a devotee, his strength is Krishna. Everything else is getting destroyed in this material world. But for a devotee, Krishna is ensuring. Krishna tells Arjuna in 9th chapter that Kaunteya prati janihi name bhakta pranashyati. That, O Arjuna, O son of Kunti, declare it boldly, prati janihi, let it be known to everyone, that na me bhakta pranashyati, my devotee will never be destroyed. So, one may wonder, why did Krishna not declare it directly? Because sometimes Krishna breaks his promises, as he did with Bhishma. He picked up a weapon on the battlefield, even though he had taken a promise not to do so. But when his devotee says something, he always honors that promise. So because Arjuna is a devotee of Krishna, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you declare it boldly that my devotee will never perish. Because if I say, sometimes people will say, oh, you break your promise. But if you declare it, then it is set in stone that my devotee will always be protected. Krishna will always protect his devotee. So in this year, various things may have happened, but spiritually, our life is always protected by Krishna. Krishna always takes care of his devotees. And that is a big reassurance. That is a big support to the devotees. We may think that, oh, we are all struggling in our spiritual life. But please remember that if it was not that Krishna was sitting in your heart as the chariot driver, your spiritual life would have crumbled. But because Krishna is there seated within the heart, and he is guiding us, he is taking charge of our lives, our devotional services are protected. So we may be struggling and we may think it that way, but we should have that firm faith that Krishna is protecting our spiritual life, and he will only make us advance in spiritual life. That conviction should be there. Krishna rakshayishyati iti vishvaso. One of the 6 symptoms of devotional service is that Krishna will protect me at all stages. That firm conviction, that vishwas, that firm conviction will help us. So no matter, how our year has gone, I always make it a habit to reflect on the last year, to look at some of the things I've learned from both good and bad experiences, from my mistakes, from other people's mistakes, from my successes, other people's successes. I always try to learn a few lessons so that I don't repeat them in the next year. So I do that on a mental level. But on a spiritual level, every year has been great. We may not think like that, but just the fact that we are with devotees, we are engaged in devotional service. We may be faltering, like a child learns to walk, so he sometimes falters. But that is progress. He is still walking, and eventually he'll walk perfectly. So similarly, our spiritual life is like that. The basis is bhakti. And on that, we are taking few small steps. even if we fall down, we are falling down on bhakti. There is one verse in Vedic literature which says that when a person falls down on the ground, how does he get up? By taking support of that same ground. So similarly, if we falter in devotional service, how do we get up? Not by taking shelter of Maya. If we think that, oh, I've made some mistakes in devotional service, or I've offended devotees, or I've not been very good in my sadhana, then how will we get up from that? Not by leaving devotional service, not by leaving association of devotees, not by giving up on our sadhana. We will get up only by taking support of devotees. So if we think we've fallen down on the path of devotional service, we need more support of devotees. We need to come to the temple more often. We need to associate more often. We need to eat more prasadam. We need to shout louder in the kirtan. We need to dance a bit extra when there is chanting of the holy names. We need to participate more. So if you think that you've taken a step back, do a bit more. And that support will enhance us in devotional service. So again, one of the reflections, at least for myself in my personal spiritual journey, is what services have I done in the last year? And for the next year, can I do a bit more? Or can I improvise in my services? Can I associate a bit more with devotees? Can I attend more festivals in the temple? Can I read a bit more? Can I preach a bit more? This year, I distributed 9 books. Next year, can I distribute 10 books? Just that small endeavor, that helps in Krishna consciousness. So I would like to conclude today's class with a small pastime. This is a pastime which is very familiar, and the lessons are also very familiar. But I would like to just reminisce again about this pastime. So this is the pastime when Yashoda Ma wants to tie Krishna, Damodar Leela. So Krishna has broken the butter pot. He's feeding butter to the monkeys. Yashoda Ma comes and Krishna is running out. So Yashoda Ma eventually catches him. And now she wants to tie him to the mortar. So she brings all the rope and she tries to tie Krishna, but she is 2 fingers short. The rope is 2 fingers short. So all the neighboring ladies, they come and they give their ropes. They give ropes which are used for tying the cows. And they combine all the rope into a very big rope, and yet it falls 2 fingers short. And in Bhagavatam, it is then described that when Yashodama and all the ladies are amazed, they are surprised, and Yashodama, she is perspiring out of effort. At that time, Krishna, looking at the effort of Yashodama, smiles, and being merciful, he agrees to be bound. So the next time when mother tries to bind Krishna, then Krishna is bound. So our acharyas explained the 2 fingers that were falling short in the length of the rope. They were completed, one by Mother Yashoda's efforts, and second by Krishna's mercy. These 2 things, Yashodama's efforts and Krishna's mercy, they helped to tie Krishna. So if we want to bind up Krishna in our heart, we need these 2 principles. One, our efforts to an extent that we perspire. On 31st December 2022, you should be saying, oh Prabhuji, this year was ecstatic. I did so many services that I was perspiring with them. That is how we should be. We usually do services in our comfort zone, but we should try to do services where we go beyond that to an extent where we say, in Hindi there is a saying, "Ki pasina chhut gaye Prabhuji," which means that I worked so hard that I started sweating. So that is one thing we should do. And the second is, we pray for Krishna's mercy. Tatte pukampam susamik shamana. That we pray eagerly that, oh Krishna, when will you be merciful? My efforts, I will try from my end, but that does not mean that my efforts will bind you. You know, yogis, they try to bind Krishna in their heart by meditating for thousands of years. They're not able to do that. Yashodama is able to do because of her intense love. So we don't have that intense love, but we have the instructions of Prabhupada, who has made it very simple for us. What has he said? You know, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles. So we chant daily 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We follow 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. That saves us a lot of time, money, and miseries. Just by not doing these 4 things, we save a lot of time, money, and we escape from miseries. And by chanting Hare Krishna, we progress. We associate with devotees, we take prasadam. Spiritual life is so simple. So if we can give 8 to 12 hours to our employers, if we can give few hours to our family, if we can give 6 hours or more for sleeping, then can we not give a couple of hours for spiritual life, where we can sit down, chant the holy names properly? And you may say, Prabhuji, where will I get the time from? Stop watching television, stop your social media, stop unnecessary activities. Gives you plenty of time. I once looked at my own Facebook time usage, and it was coming to 21 minutes a day. And I thought, wow, you know, I could complete 3 rounds in that. And then one day I monitored my WhatsApp time, and that was again coming to 20 minutes a day. So that's 6 rounds. If I just stop using WhatsApp, Facebook, and then it frees my mind, makes me more peaceful. So, you know, 6 rounds straight away, I can do that by avoiding unnecessary stuff, by avoiding those good morning messages or what's happening with some cat in some part of the world on Facebook. You know, so just by avoiding that, I can chant 6 rounds easily. So by avoiding unnecessary stuff, we can do all of that. So my humble request on this occasion, where the Christian year is ending and another year is about to begin, is that when we are reflecting on various aspects of our life, then we can also, one, be assured that our spiritual life is stable. No matter we may think it may be faltering, it is stable, it is protected by Krishna, it is ensured by Krishna. There's not going to be any loss. That's your best investment. Whatever you do, even if you say Hare Krishna once, that goes in your record eternally. So don't worry about your spiritual life. Just think about these 2 things. What more efforts can I put in devotional service? And I will keep on praying for Krishna's mercy by following Prabhupada's instructions, by chanting, by not doing anything stupid. If you can combine this, then, you know, we are all set. We are all guaranteed. And if some of you have managed to do that consistently in the last year, with chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds, with following 4 regulative principles, serving, associating, honoring prasadam, chanting, dancing in the kirtan, take it from me, your 2021 was a hit success. No matter what your material life has been, but your year has been a hit success. You've gained a lot in that year. So let's end this year on a happy note, that we are in the association of devotees, we are chanting Krishna's name, we are going to pray to Lord Narasimha at the end of this program for protecting us, not only in 2021, but 2022 and forever. And we are always going to enhance our spiritual life. And if these are the reflections for 2021, I would also like to advertise my class on Sunday for the new year, the topic of which is New Year resolutions. So if you want some tips for what resolutions to take, do attend the Sunday class where I'll speak about a few resolutions as well. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanand.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dinban Prabhu. Thank you very much for that excellent class. So I won't take much time. Just a couple of points I've noted here. One thing really hit me was taking a vow. So how you said that reading 10 pages every day. So if you if I don't take a vow, then there is no goal for me. I can do anything. Planning to fail is failing to plan. So there should be a plan. So that's the biggest thing. So that's the one thing that we have to take a vow. Prabhupada had spent so much time writing these books. When we read these spiritual books, we are in touch with Krishna. We are in touch with devotees. We are in touch with Prabhupada. We are taking the association of Prabhupada. We are taking the association of devotees through the books. So that's really hit me. So we have to take a vow. And another thing you mentioned that in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. The markets, they undergo correction, but there is no correction in this endeavor. Your capital is always protected. That is what Krishna says. Krishna says, "Name bhaktya pranashyati." So Krishna boldly declares, ask Arjuna to declare that my devotee will never perish. So let's become a devotee of Krishna. And the other point you really mentioned was that there should be endeavor from our side, and then only you get the mercy of Krishna. So two things simultaneously to accomplish a task. To progress in devotional service, we need two things. Endeavor from our side, that is our service, that is our practice. And then you can expect the mercy of Krishna. That is not guaranteed, but two things are required. So we have to do that endeavor. Also, one last thing you mentioned about service. So I was hearing a little class the other day and really struck me. So once Lord Brahma went to Sage Bharadwaj and said that, come on, your time is finished, come with me. Your time is finished. Said, I need 100 years, 100 more years. So why? Because I need to study Vedas. I've studied, but I am not finished studying Vedas. Then Brahma said, okay, I'll give you 100 more years. After 100 more years, Brahma comes again to Bharadwaj, Sage Bharadwaj. Have you finished studying Vedas? No. There is plenty. Can I have 100 more years? Okay, no problem. After 100 more years, Brahmaji came to see Bharadwaj and said, have you finished? Come with me now. No. Please, can you give me 100 more years? Because I'm not finished. There is so much of reading of these Vedas. Then Lord Brahma took Bharadwaj sage to a big hill, big mountain, to the base of that mountain, and took a couple of grains of sand from the bottom and mentioned to Bharadwaj, saying that, this is how much you studied. The Vedas are compared to this big mountain, the whole Vedic knowledge, and the amount of things that you've studied is only a couple of grains, sand grains. So better you apply what you've studied so far. And he realized that Vaishnava Seva, service to Vaishnavas, is the best. That is the essence. And so that's why Sage Bharadwaj served Ram and Bharat and his whole army when they were in Chitrakuta. So service to the Vaishnavas is the best thing. That is the essence of all scriptures. let us see if we can do some of that in the new year. If we have not done enough in this year, but can we do something more in the next year? Now, Jess, we'll move on to the next part of the program, quiz by Pandavasena. I can see Madhav Kumar Prabhu, you raised your hand. You wanted to say anything?
Yes, bro. Thank you. To share a quick couple of reflections. Thank you to Dinabandhu Prabhu for sharing his thoughts. He mentioned about Krishna honoring the word of his devotee, and we have Prabhupada. He's given us such a simple method to follow: chant 16 rounds, 4 regulative principles, and go back to Godhead. So we know that it's doable, and we just need to prioritize our lives in a way that we manage everything. And if we believe in Krishna's words and Prabhupada's words, then it's possible for each one of us. So that's one. And second is, what is the criteria to evaluate success in life? It is not how much money we've accumulated, how many shares we've got, and how much success we have in the stock market. It's how much spiritual credits we are accumulating, and how we have been able to improve the standard of our services from what we used to do previously. And at ISKCON Manchester, pandemic's actually been a big boost to us on the book distribution front. We've explored new options which we didn't know existed before pandemic. So we all need to, obviously the ask is to maintain that standard and go further. But the criteria to evaluate success is how we progress in our spiritual lives. So if each one of us reflects on that, then it is really then that we truly make our lives worth living. As Pandavasena says, life less ordinary. So hand over to Sumedha. Thank you, Dinabandhu Prabhu, for those reflections.
Okay, thank you very much, Madhav Kumar Prabhu, and really appreciate, and Dinabandhu Prabhu as well. So now we are moving to the very interesting part of the program. So I can see the numbers have gone up now. So over to you, Sumedh.
Hey Krishna, can you hear me?
Sure, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Just before we get... So I'm just getting the screen up. Just before we get screen up, we're going to be doing a Kahoot quiz. Most of everyone here should have done a Kahoot quiz at some point before, but if you have not, for Kahoot, you have to go onto kahoot.it and type in a game pin, which we're going to give you, and then you should be able to join into the game. You're going to have a separate device alongside the Zoom screen, and the question will come on the Zoom, and you're going to have to enter it on your device, your answer. Of course, this is a friendly competition. Please do not take this so seriously. If you come second or first, there is no real difficulty. Even if you come last, Krishna will see the endeavor. So it's the taking part that counts. And yes, when you put your... Bhakti's put in chat, look, they're better than me at Kahoot. When you put the game pin in, it should ask you to put your name in. And we should be able to see you on the screen. So I'm just getting it up now. Krishna willing, it all works out. Never know with technology. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, so please go onto your phones and type in the game pin. While that's happening, we'll put on some Srila Prabhupada Kirtan in the background, just to purify.
They're
coming?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, it's good. We can see people are joining. Highly I recommend that everyone joins. Who's Sumedha Sam? Who are these imposters? Samyaji's here. Dhruv. How many people do we have on Zoom? We have currently 29 people on Zoom. If anyone is watching on YouTube, I would recommend that you come to the Zoom because the timings work better from Zoom and you'll be able to see the question in time.
Looks like that's it. I
Can we start? I mean, we can start anytime. This code is it's going to be there the whole time, so you can join at any time actually. I think we are good to go. Hopefully everyone's understood what's happening. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Right, let's begin. What does ISKCON stand for? Starting off on an easy question. What does ISKCON stand for? International Society of Krishna Consciousness, International Society of Krishna's Community, or International Society for Krishna Confidence? 18 answers in so far. I've got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. And of course, someone got it wrong. A little disappointing, but that's good. Yes, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay. Good start. I see 2 Sumeds on the leaderboard. At what age did Srila Prabhupada leave Vrindavan for the West? 68, 69, 70 or 71? So I should have mentioned earlier, this first section deals with Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON, and kind of a couple basics of that. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Okay, most people got that. Yeah, it's at the age of 69 that Srila Prabhupada left India or Vrindavan to come to preach to us in the West. You know, many people, especially in their spiritual life, they might think it's just better to just, you know, I can focus on me, my own personal sadhana, I don't really need to focus on other people. But the mood of a devotee like Srila Prabhupada is not just he's not selfish, he doesn't keep Krishna for himself, but he shares it with others. He's seen it's able to develop, it's able to change people and transform people, and so he's come out over to a foreign land in order to give us his mercy as well. Like Prahlad Maharaj says, that I do not want to simply stay in a cave and take a vow of silence, but I want to go to the cities so I can spread your name and alleviate the people of the difficulties of material life there. So this is the mood of Srila Prabhupada as well. And I mean, we always think, you know, if we've not been able to do anything by the age of 30 or 40, we're very unsuccessful. But Srila Prabhupada's here, and he starts at the age of 69, the ripe old age of 69. In a very short period of time, in 12 years, he completely transforms the globe. Leaderboard. Two of the Sumeds have fallen, but there's another Sumed on top, and the Kumars at the top as well. Next question. What was the name of the ship that Srila Prabhupada took? Jaladhir, Jalabala, Jaladuta, or Jaladhan? All of these are legitimate ship names, by the way, from Sumati Muraji's shipping company. 5 seconds left. Yeah, it was the Jaladuta. Alright, that's good. It's good that most people got that. Made the Samu to 2nd place. When did Srila Prabhupada arrive in Boston? Which year? 1964, 1965, 66, or 67? 5 seconds. Ooh. Yeah, it was 1965. I think that is a harder question. But yeah, Srila Prabhupada arrived in 1965 and he spent 12 years here. So in the span of 12 years, he went from having nothing, no center, no actual facility for preaching, to developing a whole worldwide community. What's the leaderboard looking like? Dhruv's on. Dhruv's got an answer streak off. He's got 4 correct so far, which is really good. Mars is still in the lead. Right, question number 5. How many times did Srila Prabhupada circle the globe? 11, 12, 13, or 14? Most people seem to have answered this really quickly. 3, 2, 1. And it's 14. Okay, again, another spread, but that was 14. Srila Prabhupada circumnavigated the world 14 times in the span of 12 years, placing foot in 6 continents. He didn't go to Antarctica. But in doing so, you can see how much traveling he did. He was not necessarily just staying in one place, making it cozy for him, encouraging preaching, letting them treat him nicely, and then saying, oh, job done. He kept on doing it, even until his last moments. There's clips out there of Srila Prabhupada actually translating on his deathbed, and he's translating verses and writing dictating the purport for the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, even in his final days. So it just goes to show that he has that kind of determination and empowerment. Madhu Mataji's now come to the top. The Kumars seem to have fallen there. How many centers did Srila Prabhupada establish? 107, 108, 109, or 110? This is a common number. Most people should get this question right. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it was 108 centers. Well done. Well done, everyone except for that one person who chose green. I'm hoping that was accidental. Leaderboard stays the same. Where did Srila Prabhupada do the first Harinam outside of India? Times Square, Columbus Park Pavilion, Tompkins Square Park, or Washington Square Park? Where did Srila Prabhupada do the first Harinam, as seen in this picture over here, under the Hare Krishna tree? 21 answers, you got another 5 seconds. Get your answers in. Yeah, it was Tompkins Square Park. Tompkins Square Park in New York, with a bongo drum that time, and some kind of kartals. Dhruv is back on the leaderboard. Madhu Mataji still in the lead. How many letters did Srila Prabhupada write altogether, approximately? 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, or 10,000? This is quite a hard question, I think. Okay, yeah, it was 10,000. So Srila Prabhupada wrote 10,000 letters. So bearing in mind that these letters are generally to his disciples, people that he's keeping in touch with, it also shows out of all the millions of things he was doing, he was also able to maintain those kinds of relations and communicate with people as well. So 10,000 letters. Dhruv's moved up on the leaderboard. Raj Prabhu with a comeback, 3 correct answers in a row. What was Srila Prabhupada's inspiration for the name ISKCON? Right, this is hard. Upadeshamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Padhyavali, or Ujjvala Neelamani. These are all books written by Rupa Goswami, but the name ISKCON Prabhupada actually got from a phrase in one of these. Oh wow. Okay, so it was not the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it was actually Padhyavali. It was a Padhyavali verse. The verse was Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati. Shikshashtakam Prabhu recites this verse a lot. So it's from that verse that Prabhupada actually got the inspiration for the name ISKCON. And Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita, the emotion of the rasa, the mellow and the enjoyment of doing devotional service. And he kind of paraphrased it as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So it's actually from Padhyavali. Dhruv got that right. Well done, Dhruv. Where is the international headquarters of ISKCON located? Manchester, Mayapur, Vrindavan, or New York? I'm going to give you a hint. It's not Manchester. It's ISKCON Mayapur. Perfect. The land of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Krishna Prabhu has just overtaken Madhu Mataji, the family competition. What road is ISKCON Manchester located on? Everyone should get this. Granby Street, Durham Marg, Mayfield Road, or Westgate Road? Five seconds left. It's Mayfield Road. Durham Marg is actually where Bhaktivedanta Manor is located. I think Granby Street is ISKCON Leicester, and Westgate Road is ISKCON Newcastle, but it's Mayfield Road. So if you do have time, on a Sunday we have a program, 20 Mayfield Road, please join us at ISKCON Manchester. Everyone seems to have got that. Leaderboard stays the same. What is the name of the Radha Krishna on our altar? Radha Krishna, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Madhav, or Radha Shamsundar? It's Radha Gokulananda. Yes, we have a picture of the deities from Bhaktivedanta Manor. Oh, Madhu Mataji. Oh, 1 point difference there. That's amazing. What time is our temple program every Sunday? People should be getting this. 12:30 to 3, 1 to 3, 1:30 to 3, or 2 to 3. Okay, I think almost all the answers are in. We've got another 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's from 12:30 to 3. Chaitanya Krishna Prabhu was just taking lead there by 2 points this time. What does our temple program entail? There can be multiple correct options. If you choose one correct option, you're fine. Arati, Kirtan, class, or prasadam? Yeah, it's all of them. Whenever we're making a quiz, we always try to make one question that everyone can get right. So that means that at least everyone gets at least one question right. So it's good. Madhu Mataji is taking the lead. Oh, that's quite a big difference. Okay. When did the in-person temple full program restart for ISKCON Manchester? July, August, September, or October? We had COVID obviously this year, so the majority of the year we spent on Zoom doing programs like this. So when did we restart in-person full programs? Yeah, this was August. So we had, I think Madhu Kumar Prabhu will remember this, we had the Prasadam distribution that opened in July, but the in-person temple full program started in August. But yes, that's roughly the correct period that most people got that. Yes.
Started on 25th July.
25th of July we started actually giving that prasadam, but the full temple program was not open at that time.
That was in person. Full program.
That was in person, so it does count.
In person.
No, but I said full program. Full program was not there. I did have technicalities. I knew that would be there. But look, I'm happy that you're passionate about it. It's good. It's important to be enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness. Who spoke the Bhagavad Gita? Lord Krishna, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, or Sanjay? Yeah, very easy, Lord Krishna. So now we're starting the section that deals with Bhagavad Gita and how important it is. So it deals with some of the basics first. Okay, leaderboard stays the same. Where was the Bhagavad Gita spoken? Rishikesh, Kurukshetra, Tirumala, or Kumbh Mela? Where was the Gita spoken? Yes, it was spoken Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, the holy land of Kurukshetra. Everyone got that right. Well done, everyone. How many verses are there in the Bhagavad Gita? 500, 600, 700, or infinite? $700 verses, yes. The Gita has 700 verses. Okay. Oh, Madhu Mataji, come on. I got that one. Well done, Chaitanya Krishna Prabhu, in the lead now. What does the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita primarily deal with? What topic do we primarily deal with in the first 6? Karma, Jnana, Ashtanga, or Bhakti Yoga? Karma Yoga. So the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita primarily deal with Karma Yoga. Yes, there are other topics mentioned, but the main understanding there is to do with action, its consequences, whether we should act or not act, and those are the main topics that we deal with heavily in the first 6 chapters. The second 6 chapters, the juice of the Gita, the real rasa, the real filling, is Bhakti Yoga, and the last 6 chapters mainly deals with Jnana Yoga. Okay, it's good. Most people seem to have got that. What is the real identity of every living being? Mainly dealt with in chapter 2. The spirit soul, Atma, super soul, Paramatma, body, Deha, or ether. What's the real identity of every living being? 10 seconds left. Yes, with the spirit soul, the Atma. The Paramatma is Anyaya. Uttama Purushastvanyaha. So it's different from us. That's one of the things that Krishna does say. We are the spirit soul. What is the topmost yoga? Karma, Jnana, Bhakti, or Hatha. So Krishna says in 647, Yogi Namapi Sarvesham, among all yogis. He gives preference to one. 5 seconds left. The Bhakti Yogi, yeah. So Krishna says, Tapasvi Bhyodiko Yogi Jnanid Yogi Matodika. And so he says, greater than a tapasvi, greater than a karma yogi, and greater than an ashtanga yogi, there is the topmost yogi. And that he clarifies in the 647, that is the Bhakti Yogi. And then he goes on to give the Bhakti Yoga section of the Gita. Okay, that's good. Most people seem to have got that. The practice of Krishna consciousness is, from 9.2, painful, joyful, difficult, or temporary. Yes, it's joyful. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshavagaman Dharmyam Susukam Kartamavyayam. Sukam, joyful. Susukam, very joyful. Very joyfully performed. And sometimes, as Prabhuji said, sometimes we forget how simple this process is. But really, once we do it and we practice it properly, it's a very joyful process. Nothing but happiness. Adi Mataji is coming, climbing up the leaderboard to number 3. Dhruv's still in 2nd, and Sarvani Krishna Prabhu was in 1st. If a devotee passes away during the time of dark, they don't transcend the material creation. True or false? If a devotee passes away during the time of dark, they do not transcend the material creation. Five seconds left. It's false. If a devotee passes away at any time, Naite Shruti Partha Jhanan Yogi Muhyati Krishna Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavajana. It doesn't matter whether he passes away in the light or the dark, but they are able to transcend the material creation. So that's why he says, Vedeshu Yagneshu Tapasucheva, of all, better than all of this is Bhakti. Because it doesn't matter when the devotee passes, they will transcend this material creation, they will go to the abode of the Lord. So, as Prabhuji said, the real investment, real return on investment, you want to get out of this material world, no matter what time you pass, because we can pass at any moment, Bhakti Yoga guarantees that we're able to go to the Lord. What is better of these two options? Worship of Lord Krishna via devotion, or worship of the impersonal Brahman? Which of the two is better? Yes, so it's worship of Lord Krishna via devotion. The main reason given is from the 12th chapter. This is quite clearly clarified, that when we are worshipping Lord Krishna via the mood of bhakti, or via the root of bhakti, the Lord reciprocates. It's not just us doing our own endeavor. When we're swimming in an ocean, we may struggle so much on how to get out, but if there's a lifeguard there that grabs us, we're sorted. And so in this path of devotion, the Lord is there to help us. Whereas in another path, it might be more difficult, because that reciprocation is not always necessarily there. So that's why worship of Lord Krishna via devotion is also recommended. Another thing is, it's very easy. But if you want to go into full depth, this deep analysis is given in the 12th chapter regarding this topic. Everyone got that right? Next. Is Krishna the source of the impersonal Brahman? Yes or no? Is Krishna the source of the impersonal Brahman? Most answers in. We've got another 10 seconds left. Yes. Krishna is the source of the impersonal Brahman. That's why I mentioned 1427 and Ishopanishad Mantra 15. There's other reference as well in Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyayasya. And then Hiranmayena patrena swasyasta pihitamakam. So clearly explains actually that Lord Krishna is the source of the impersonal Brahmacharya. And so it rests upon him. And it's from his, it's described that from his tole it emanates. Also in the Brahma Samhita there are references as well. But Lord Krishna is the source of the impersonal Brahman, not the other way around. Something all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. Take up, destroy, or abandon. The classic, often one of the poster boy verses of the Gita. Abandon. A very deep point to understand, and sometimes we quote this verse without actually analyzing the Gita, not following its chain of thought through, understanding step by step what Arjuna says, and then this verse won't hit, it won't make sense. But the essence that Krishna gives is that we should give up all varieties of, especially material dharma, and simply take shelter of the Lord. And by taking shelter of the Lord, he says, Mashucha, Moksha Yishyami Mashucha. I will deliver you, I will liberate you, do not worry, Mashucha, do not fear at all. And so, in a lot of religions, the concept of surrender is that of a God-fearful, powerful being, and if we don't follow their action, we're going to go to eternal damnation. But that's not the concept of God that's mentioned in the Gita. When Krishna says surrender, it's that out of love. If I put a gun up to you and say love me, that's not real love, that's just fear. And so when we talk about surrender here, this surrender is that done out of pure love for the Lord. And so that's why abandon all varieties of religion. Sarva dharman parityaja. Readable stays the same. Quite close, fairly close. Dhruv, you got a chance, come on. What verse is this from? What's the reference? Sarva dharman parityaja. 63, 64, 65, or 66? 18th chapter, what verse is this? Yeah, this is just the verse number, 1866. Just a classic. Yeah, most people got that, that's good. Okay, the humble sage by virtue of true knowledge sees with equal vision a gulab jam and rasagula sandesh and rasmalai, a dancer, kirtane, mridanga, and a sitting mat, a brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. What does one see? Vidya vinaya sampanya. 20 answers in, 5 seconds left. Yes. A humble sage by virtue of true knowledge sees with equal vision a brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. This is 517. You can go and read further on this, but it explains that when we see everyone with the soul within them, beyond this bodily conception, that we all understand that they all have the same purpose, to get out of this material world and to take the shelter of the Lord. And so in that way we'll be able to see with equal vision. Perfect. Raj Prabhu has a high Santa streak of 19. Well done. What is the relationship between the Lord and the living entity? The Jiva is the eternal servant of the Lord. Inconceivable, simultaneous oneness and difference, perfectly equal or completely unrelated. What's the relationship between Jiva and Ishvara? The soul and the Lord. If you get one of there's two correct answers. If you get one of them, you get the point. Yeah, the Jiva is the servant of the Lord. Jivera Swarupa Hai Krishnera Nityadas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. Inconceivably simultaneous oneness and difference. These both things are true of the Jiva and the Lord and the relation between the two. Okay, leaderboard stays the same, that's good. What is the means by which one can truly understand God? 1854-55. Work, devotional service, empirical knowledge, or bodily exercise. Devotional service. Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. One can really know me. Yes, Lord is inconceivable, but we can conceive the inconceivable to the extent by which they reveal themselves. And how can we do that? Bhaktya. By the process of devotional service. So when in the concluding verses, Krishna doesn't say, through another process that one can understand him. But he says bhaktyamam abhijanati. By the process of bhakti, by the process of devotional service, one can truly understand God. So that concludes the section on the Gita. So far the leaderboard's looking very well. Congratulations to everyone, by the way. You've done very well. I know some of the questions have been very hard. This is really good to see. Okay. Where was Lord Krishna born? A nice relaxed question. Mother of Vrindavan, Barsana, Ayodhya. Where was Lord Krishna born? Yeah, it was in Mathura. Lord Krishna was born in the jail or the prison of King Kamsa to Vasudeva and Devaki. Okay, looking good. Where was Srimati Radharani born? Mathura, Vrindavan, Barsana, Ayodhya. Barsana, yes. She was born in the land of Barsana. Who was the first demon delivered by Lord Krishna? Well, first demon mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Trinavarta, Aghasura, Putana, and Bakasura. Which of these is the first demon? Yes, Putana. Technically a demoness, but if I put demoness, that would have given the answer away. She was the first demoness that was delivered by the Lord at the age of either 1 or 2 months years old. Okay. What colour dhoti does little Krishna wear? Saffron, blue, white, or yellow? Yes, he wears a yellow dhoti with a peacock feather, and his complexion is blackish bluish like that of a rain cloud. Oh, Sumed, whoever Sumed is, he's on the leaderboard. This is not good. We are really encouraging some kind of Mayavadi philosophy by doing this. Where was Lord Ram born? Mathura, Vrindavan, Barsana, or Ayodhya? Oh wow, that was like instantaneous. That was amazing. Yes, Lord Ram was born in the land of Ayodhya. Okay, looking good. Which demon did Lord Ram kill? The main one. Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, or Shishupal? Yes, the main purpose or the main demon that was meant to be removed by Lord Ram, or Lord Krishna in his incarnation as Lord Ram, is Ravan. Okay, okay, alright, that's good to see. Who is Lord Chaitanya? Krishna and Balaram, Mahavishnu, Sadashiva, Arjuna and Bhima, Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Who is Lord Gauranga? Yes. Radha Krishna Ekatma Dui Dehadari. They are one soul that take two bodies, and they have both appeared as Chaitanya Goswami. They have appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Radha Bhava Surata Nomi Krishna Swarupam we hear. That to take the mood of Radharani, Krishna takes this form. Okay, good. What was the main purpose of Mahaprabhu's appearance? To preach Mayavada, to destroy miscreants, to propagate Yuga Dharma, to demonstrate that he was the supreme. To propagate the Yuga Dharma, yes. The chanting of the holy names, especially in this age. Madhvi Mataji is back on the leaderboard. Right. Where did Mahaprabhu appear? Mathura, Vrindavan, ISKCON Manchester, or Navadvip? With 10 seconds left. Navadvip, yes. Mahaprabhu appeared in the land of Navadvip, West Bengal. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother? Vishnupriya, Sachidevi, Lakshmipriya, or Janavadevi? Here we see the deities from Yogapith, and yes, it's Sachimata. Sachimata is the mother of Mahaprabhu. Dhruv. Who is Nityananda Prabhu? Balaram, Bhima, Arjuna, Lord Shiva. Nityananda Kiramam Sharanam Prapatya. Who is Lord Nityananda? Lord Nityananda is an incarnation of Lord Balaram. Say Krishna Navadvipe Shri Chaitanya Chandra. Say Balaram Sanghe Shri Nityananda. What is the meaning of Panchatattva? 5 creatures, 5 truths, 5 devotees, or 5 natures. Panchatattva. Clue Pancha means 5. Hope that helps. 5 seconds left. 23 answers in. Come on. 3, 2, 1. 5 truths. Tattva, truth. The 5 truths. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna. 5 aspects of Lord Krishna. Okay. Samanya Krishna Prabhu is still here on the leaderboard. Raj Prabhu and Dhruv's moving up again. It's good. Who gave Mahaprabhu initiation? Mantra Guru. Keshav Bharati, Keshav Puri, Ishwar Bharati, or Ishwar Puri. Mantra Guru. Remember, Mantra Guru, not Sannyas Guru. This might be one of the harder questions. Yes, so Mantra Guru is Ishwar Puri. The Sannyas Guru is Keshav Bharati, but the Mantra Guru is Ishwar Puri. Shivan Drishti. On the leaderboard with 16 correct answers in a row, which is not a joke. Well done. In the pastime of Jagai and Madai, who struck Nityananda Prabhu? Jagai or Madai? It's a 50-50 really if you don't know this, but if you do know this, you should get it. 10 seconds. It's Madai. I verify that that's Madai? It should be Madai. The majority of the devotees went with Jagai, but I believe that is Madai according to Vrindavan Das Thakur's Chaitanya Mangal. Chaitanya Bhagavat, sorry. Dhruv's up there. A song did King Prataparudra sing which melted Mahaprabhu's heart? Gopi Gita, Rudra Gita, Uddhav Gita, or Venu Gita? Again, I guess this is quite a hard question to be honest. But it can be ascertained from the answers. So it's not too difficult. Yeah, so the Gopi Gita. These are again famous pastimes of Mahaprabhu. We can go into so much depth about each one. Jagai and Madai's pastime, for example. And King Prataparudra's pastime, although he's a king, and generally kings are very materialistic, how he was able to obtain Mahaprabhu's mercy. And in great depth we can go, but this is like a kind of an overview. So made 3.0 on the leaderboard. Which temple did Mahaprabhu famously clean before Rath Yatra? Tirupati, Gundicha, Jagannath Temple, or Kedarnath? This is a famous pastime of Mahaprabhu. Before Rath Yatra, he cleanses the temple. It was the Gundicha temple, Gundicha Marjan pastime. There's actually a very in-detail pastime in the Chaitanya Charitamrita of how, they clean bit by bit, section by section of the actual Gundicha temple. Firstly cleaning the ceilings, and then coming down the windows and the walls, and then, a really deep analysis. And sometimes, you might think, how much depth can you get? It's just cleaning a building. But in that depth, it connects it to so many verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. And so many philosophical points are mentioned there as well. A very beautiful pastime. Okay, leaderboard stays the same. How many rounds did Haridas Thakur do daily? 190, 191, 192, and 193. Who else here is doing over 190 rounds? We struggle for getting 16 done sometimes. It's 192, yeah, 64 times 3. He used to do 192 rounds daily. This is the Namacharya for a reason. Mahaprabhu made him the Acharya of the holy name for a reason, because he would do 192 rounds daily. So if we say 16 rounds takes around about 2 hours, 64 rounds will take 4 times as much, 8 hours, and 192 will then take 3 times as much as that. So pretty much 24 hours, all he was doing was chanting. All he would do for 24 hours was chanting. This is the beauty of Haridas Thakur. And we are not at that level where sometimes we don't even feel enjoyment out of japa because we're so conditioned. But you can just imagine how much enjoyment Haridas Thakur was gaining from his chanting. And especially from that you can see how pure he is and how liberated he is. Samir 3.0 is gone, but Samir's back on the leaderboard. Okay. Mahaprabhu instructed the 6 Goswamis to do what? Ascertain the essence of Vedic literature, establish centers facilitating loving service, excavate places of pilgrimage, or explain how to take the renounced order. What did Mahaprabhu instruct the 6 Goswamis to do? All 4 of them are correct, yes. Mahaprabhu instructed the 6 Goswamis to do all of these. The Goswamis, especially for us as Gaudiya Vaishnavas in our line, are very, very dear because they're like the example of perfect friendships. You know, the right amount of joking around and bantering around with each other, being serious in Krishna consciousness, taking each other's association to go deeper, spending time in private to do personal sadhana, going out, giving Krishna consciousness to everyone, dhira, dhira, janapriya, you know, to those who are steady and those who are not so steady in their life. They were dear to all people. And the Goswamis, they took these instructions of the Lord, which are mentioned, I think you can find them in Antya-lila, 4th chapter, maybe like 78, 79, 80-ish, these kind of points which are mentioned. And they do a lot of work for us. So a lot of our philosophy, a lot of our practicality of Krishna consciousness, it all is due to them and their mercy. Currently I'm studying Tattva Sandarbha, which really helps understand clarifications from the Vedic literature, but every single thing that we do is due to the mercy of the 6 Goswamis and the work that they did under Mahaprabhu. So we should be very, very grateful to them. Samir's gone and Samir 3.0 is back. Nice to see you back, Samir 3.0. Dhruv's got an answer streak of 5 in a row. Well done, Dhruv. And Sarvenya Krishna Prabhu is still on the top. What are the final instructions of Mahaprabhu? Sachisatastakam, Shikshashtakam, Gaurangashtakam, or Mahaprabhoshtakam? They are the Shikshashtakam prayers. Sachisatastakam, Gaurangashtakam, and Mahaprabhoshtakam are bhajans which are written by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. But the Shikshashtakam are the 8 verses which Mahaprabhu left, and they are often explained to be his final words as well, or his final instructions that we were able to take from him. And we recite them generally in Mangala Arati. Okay, Raj Prabhu has overtaken Dhruv. 4 questions left. What is the lifespan of Lord Brahma? I'm not going to read these numbers. It's one of them. 311.03, 04, 05, or 06 trillion years. Yes, 311 trillion 40 billion years is the lifespan of Lord Brahma. The reason I mentioned that here is because time is a very important thing. As Prabhuji mentioned, Kalosmi loka kshayakrit pravritto. It's an expansion of the Lord. It's non-discriminatory, you know. 24 hours here is the same as 24 hours in India, or in Africa, or in Eastern Europe. It's all the same. And Lord Brahma has this much time. That's like his fixed lifespan. There's no such thing as an untimely death for Lord Brahma. And even though he has a fixed lifespan, he does not procrastinate Krishna consciousness or devotional service. We don't even have a fixed lifespan. We just go, oh, you know what, no, it's fine, I'll do it tomorrow, and it's just fine, you know. That's not right, because if you look, Lord Brahma, who has a fixed lifespan, what does he do? He uses every single moment where he can to serve the Lord. And us, with our tiny lifespans of only 100 years compared to that, which is not even fixed, we don't engage in devotional service, which highlights that we need to really change our mindset. We need to stop procrastinating, and we need to take up to devotional service. And so when we see someone so elevated as Lord Brahma, that really should give us a little kick to inspire us to carry on further in our devotional service and to stop procrastinating and to take it up now instead of waiting for later. Madhu Mataji is back, Samir's fallen. By rising and setting, the sun steals the water from the ocean, the energy of everyone, the lifespan from everyone, and the strength of the earth. From Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.17. Most answers in. The lifespan of everyone is stolen by the sun. By rising and setting, we lose a day of our life, regardless of who you are. Again, time is non-discriminatory. It takes life from everyone equally. And so by rising and setting, it says that the sun is actually reducing or diminishing our lifespan. And especially for non-devotees, It's bringing them, it's quite terrifying, because every day you live, you're getting a day closer to death, the inevitable end of this body. But for a devotee, this same thing is the most beautiful thing. For a devotee who engages their time in the service of Lord Krishna, or in the service of the devotees, in engaging, in their personal sadhana, for that devotee, by rising and setting, the sun is not bringing them closer to just the death and the loss of this human form of life, but it's bringing them closer to the Lord, because that time of death is what is the difference between this material nature and the Lord's spiritual nature. And so this can be seen for someone who has very lack of depth and understanding. This is quite a scary point, At some point we're all going to die, and every single day you've wasted, you've lost. I know Chanakya says in his Niti, that verse which mentions that when you lose a moment of life, you cannot buy that back with millions and millions of gold coins. So then what greater loss is there than time spent uselessly? So we can say, equally, Trayate mahato bayat. The greatest fear we have is losing this human form of life. But by engaging in the Lord's service, as was mentioned by Prabhuji, Neha Bikramanashasti, we guarantee that we're able to develop, we're able to further ourselves. Otherwise, it's quite scary. But for a devotee, it's the most beautiful thing. Given Drishti back on the leaderboard. Dhruv, is that okay? Raj Prabhu, Sameda Sam, Sarvanya Krishna Prabhu. I'm just having a look at the scores. They're fairly close. I think that you can still make a difference. What is the difference between the human form of life and the animal form of life? Intelligence, enjoyment, morality, or technology? What's the difference between the human and animal forms of life? Intelligence, enjoyment, morality, or technology? Intelligence and morality are the two differences. You might say, what about technology? We have developed so much technology that we're unable to even do the things that the birds can eat. We have to make a nest. We have to think so deeply about it. It's inherent for birds. They just see a twig and they go, oh yeah, that's going to work, or that's not going to work. Our technology is, Srila Prabhupada says very simply, it's just an extra heightened increase of enjoyment. So therefore, we're not actually greater. There's no real difference. The dog runs on 4 legs, you run on 4 wheels. There's no real difference. It's just a different method. But in terms of actual difference of technological improvement, it's the same thing. Enjoyment, of course, no different. Ahara nidra bhayamaitanamcha, as mentioned in that verse, that the real difference that sets apart humans from others is the ability to have dharma, which is morality, or the higher thinking or higher intelligence. That discrimination between right and wrong is what sets humans apart. So we have this human form of life. We've kind of hit the jackpot, if you'd like. And so we're very fortunate in that way. But, you can say unfortunate are those who then don't have this opportunity. Fortunate are those who do have this opportunity. But the most unfortunate are those that have the opportunity and don't use it. And we have this opportunity. So let's use it in the right way. Okay, leaderboard stays the same. Penultimate question. What is the beautifully sweet process of becoming God conscious? Speculative logic, loving devotional service, renunciation of everything, or fruitive activities? No, 5 seconds. Loving devotional service. This is the easiest process of becoming God conscious, and it's very, very sweet. In love, you need to have a subject, object, and reciprocation, and all 3 are there in devotional service. And to the degree that we go deeper in our devotional service, to that degree, the Lord reciprocates with depth as well. Okay, leaderboard stays the same. What is recommended as the topmost process in this age of Kali? Deity worship, fire sacrifice, chanting the holy names, or meditation? For this age of Kali in particular, what is the topmost process? Chanting of the holy names of the Lord is mentioned as the topmost process. We're in an age of an ocean of misery, or an ocean of fault, sorry. Kalir dhosha niderajan hastiya ko mahangana. Hastiya ko mahangana, we have one good quality. What's that? Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vraja. That simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord, we're able to deliver ourselves from this terrible ocean of material existence. And we might think, wow, this is so sentimental, it makes no sense at all. But once you practice it, it actually makes a difference. And there's so much change which it can bring about. These holy names are not ordinary syllables which we recite. They're imported directly from Goloka Vrindavan, Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. So we really should try and do chanting, whether that be in the form of kirtan, in music, or whether that be in the form of japa, meditated. And so ultimately, the topmost process, especially for this age of Kali Yuga, I mean, I was talking to Dinabandhu Prabhu recently, and he was talking about from Laghu Bhagavatamrit, that he was reading, and he was explaining that the topmost process of, or how chanting is more significant, more useful, and more efficacious than other processes is really nicely mentioned over there. And so, wherever we can, let's try and chant the Lord's names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And so with that, let's conclude this quiz. Podium that we have Raj Prabhu in third place, Sumedha Sam in second, and Savanya Krishna Prabhu in first. 49 out of 54. That's very impressive, Prabhu. Same likewise for Raj Prabhu, got 49 as well out of 54. Well done. Thank you everyone so much for your participation. It's very much appreciated. Again, if we can take anything from this, we should really try and engage ourselves in this lifetime in devotional service. That's like the main thing that we should do. It's a very logical path, very natural, and very sweet as well. And the more deep we go, the more we're able to reciprocate with it. So
Rama Rama Hare Hare is the sublime method for reviving our Krishna consciousness. As living spiritual soul, we are all originally Krishna conscious entities.
Meda, can you stop sharing the screen?
Our association
we're just listening to Srila Prabhupada for 1 second.
From time immemorial, our consciousness is now polluted by material atmosphere. In this polluted concept of life, we are all trying to exploit the resources of material nature, but actually we are becoming more and more entangled in our complexities.
Okay, so as you heard Srila Prabhupada say, we think we're making advancement, but we're really not. So if we really want to make advancement, we should take to the process of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Over to you, Karunacharya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Sumedha. Thank you so much, Pandav Sena team. Really appreciate for putting together. I think we had many people, 33 people were here, and looks like everyone thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you very much. Our Damodar Vidas Prabhu is there, but before we move to the Kirtan part, let's watch a small video. This is the installation ceremony of Srila Prabhupada in the TOVP, Temple of Vedic Plantorium. So just give me a second. I will just share that. A beautiful video, beautiful video. So let me see. Can somebody confirm that you are able to hear the voice? Sound is that okay?
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay, thank you. Great. Okay, enjoy the video.
Prabhupada 3, Srila Prabhupada 2, Srila Prabhupada 1. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Yadi Prabhupada hoito, tabe ki hoito, e jivana bahita kishe. Yadi Prabhupada hoito, tabe ki hoito, e jivana bahita kishe. Nitai gorera apara karuna kedita shakala deshe. Nitai gorera apara karuna kedita shakala deshe. Yadi Prabhupada hoito, tabe ki hoito, e jivana bahita kishe. Paschatira joto, pavidura chari, shunyavadi mayavadi. Tadhira udhara, koribare mana, hena kondaya nidhi. Tadhira udhara, koribare mana, hena kondaya nidhi. Yadi Prabhupada hoito, tabe ki hoito, e jivana bahita kishe.
Hare Krishna. So that was a wonderful video showing the installation ceremony of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada at our headquarters in Mayapur Dham. It's in TOP Temple. Okay, so next, the next part of the program is Kirtan. We have our Damodar Vilas Prabhu. Over to you, Prabhu.
Okay, how long is it, Prabhu? Because I was told 11 to 11:20.
Yeah. If you want to do some 20 minutes, is that okay?
Okay, that's fine, Prabhu. No problem. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutle Shrimati Radhanath Swami Bharati. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutle Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Prichane Nirvishesha Shunoti. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Shri Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai Shri Radha Gokulam Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai Panchato Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you very, very much, Damodar Vilas Prabhu, for that beautiful singing.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Really appreciate. Now we have Shailesh Prabhu, who will be leading the Kirtan.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
भगवान की जय। श्री गौरताज भगवान की जय। श्रील Prabhupada की जय. So now we'll conclude with our final Narasimha Arti before the new year. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Galadhara तो नरसिंहो हर तो नरसिंहो तो नरसिंहो हर तो नरसिंहो यातो यामित तो नरसिंहो यातो यामित तो नरसिंहो यातो यामित तो नरसिंहो यातो यामित तो नरसिंहो हे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो हे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो हे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो हे नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहो मादिं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहो मादिं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहो मादिं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहो मादिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तुमगर कमलवरे नाथा अद्भुत शृंग ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंग केशवदीता हरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे अवतार कमलवरे अद्भुत श्रीमा हिरण्यकशिपु जगदीश हरे जगदीश श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Shailesh Prabhu and Sumedha, for that wonderful ecstatic kirtan. It was fantastic. So this is a very nice way to welcome 2022. So on behalf of ISKCON Manchester, we wish you all a very happy Krishna conscious New Year. May this New Year brings you more devotional service. So Thank you everyone for taking time to tune in. It was a fantastic time we had today. And so tomorrow is Sunday. So we'll have a Sunday feast program. We shall see you all in the temple. But until then, have a good
Saturday, probably. Saturday tomorrow.
Today is Saturday. Now
We can come for your. You can come for prasadam too if you want. To your house.
Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.